amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much and remain blessed. Whenever you look my video, whenever you watch my video, share the video to all platforms. Share it to family and friends. Share it in your WhatsApp group so that people can get information on what is happening in the contraption called Nigeria, mainly against the Biafrans, against the Duduas, against the indigenous people in the contraption called Nigeria. I try as much as possible to set the record straight. I don't preach hate speech. I don't speak against people. I set the record straight. The only important thing I do here is to make sure that the plight of the people remains on the front burner and the world will know the true story of what is going on in the contraption called Nigeria.
Is here. Mr. Emmanuel Dennis, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And via Zoom, we have someone, a politician based abroad, who says he has the pedigree, personality, and to solve issues of bad leadership in Nigeria, and is planning that the 2023 election will be part of it. I have Fadure Oluwadare Joseph. It joins us via Zoom from Lagos. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you've been waiting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ijema, for having me on the show tonight.
Okay,
I'm happy that I'll be able to talk to Nigerians.
Okay,
about the kind of Nigeria we want to have. Thank you.
I'll be happy to start with you. Let's look at Nigeria going forward. What do you think are the issues that would drive electioneering now that people are preparing, now that politicians are preparing to go for party primaries?
Thank you, Ijema, for that wonderful question. My name is Cyril Ben Fadri Oluwadare Joseph. I am the aspirant under the New Nigerian People's Party, NNPP. The major thing that will be driving this next election is very simple. One is electricity. In a country where we have everything, but we lack everything. The second one is fuel. We are the number six oil producing country in the world. And yet, we have no oil. People are queuing up. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, months. So all of these are major things that would drive our election. Insecurity in the northern part of Nigeria, southern part of Nigeria, hunger in the land, and most importantly, the high level of youth unemployment. These are basic things, basic life and saving things that will drive election. And most importantly, finally, also leadership, young leadership, who is agile, who is young, who is digital, that will be able to run this country for the next generation. Thank you.
All right. We'll come back to you. Let's quickly come to you. Mr. Emmanuel Dennis, you have been a politician for long. You understand elections. Since 1999, you have witnessed elections in this country.
Sure.
And the year leading to a general election is always a very, very interesting year.
Exactly.
So let's find out from you. Now that people are beginning to go, now that not just people, political parties generally and their members are already preparing. April 4, you will see INEC will lift the bar for primaries, and parties will start primaries. What are the things you think would drive electioneering as well as also shape the elections in 2023?
Well, you see, we are at crossroads in this country. We have come to a point where Nigerians can no longer be taken for granted. We have gone past the age where money determines who becomes president. We have gone past the age where supposed integrity will see you or take you to government office. We've gone past that stage. So for this 2023 that we are about to witness, there are a lot of issues that will shape discussions, and probably it will also shape who will eventually become what when we get to 2023.
Okay.
First and foremost, Nigerians will be looking at who is going for what, because it is very key, it is very, very important. If you write presidency, or if you write vice president, if you write Senate president, if you write members of House of Reps, just on a cardboard and place it on the ground, it remains there for you for as long as it is secured in that place. Therefore, Nigerians are not going to be looking at those offices, but who are those contesting? Who are those presenting themselves? Who are those aspiring to get into these offices? For me, that is the first consideration. We want to move away from that period, that era, that epoch where some people will just get up and begin to tell Nigerian stories. Nigerians will have to look at the background. Following that, Nigerians will begin to look at the qualifications. We are sick and tired in Nigeria to continue to see situations where people who perhaps shouldn't be in office, but because of one reason or the other, they find themselves there. People who are not qualified educationally. Agreed, we may have in the Constitution that our Constitution has permitted that if you are, I think it's after primary 6 or thereabouts, you are able, after secondary education, you should be able to contest. But I am happy that the National Assembly is also tinkering on that and trying to work out something in that regard. Nigerians will have to consider the qualification of the person, because if a leader is not fully qualified, a leader cannot lead you to the destination. Who is supposed to be a leader in a country? A leader is supposed to be somebody who is giving vision. A leader is somebody who is supposed to give direction. A leader is somebody who should sit down and then think up policies and get people he feels can implement and then transmit his idea and put it on ground for the country, for the leader, for the followers to follow. We have seen ourselves in a situation where every Tom, Dick and Harry has presented himself to Nigerians in the past, and Nigerians have gone there to either vote or select or elect or whatever you call it, and then we've seen people who have gone into office and have reduced us to the level or to the point where we are today. So moving away from that, Nigerians will also be will likely consider age, because you need to be agile, you need to be strong, you need to be very, very healthy to lead a country such as this.
But if you talk about agility,
yes,
and strength.
Yes.
We know that there's a saying that the youths are the strength of a nation.
Yes.
But you can see a man 70, almost going to 80, still very strong. I
don't dispute this.
And you can also see a young man in his 40s.
Yes.
Who
may not be too healthy.
Yes.
But of course, I'm going to come to that. So that has nothing
to do with age.
Age has a lot to do with health. EJ, you and I know that as you age, you begin to lose some certain sets of senses. As you age, your body will tell you that you can no longer walk. Even the current president that we had said one time that he regrets that he's leading Nigeria again now. He wished if he had led Nigeria when he still wanted, throughout the period he contested, if he had succeeded to do so. What does that tell you? It simply tells you that age is very, very key, because the older you get, the less performance you will bring to the table. I'm not even looking at health.
Because if you go to age, I'll be asking you questions.
Health comes from God.
If you go to age,
health comes from God, EJ.
Yes, that's exactly what I want to say.
A man can be 40 and be sick.
Exactly.
A man can be 70 and be strong. But when you talk of mental alertness, mental awareness, we are talking about a digital economy. We are talking about an economy of the 21st century. We are talking about people who will begin to understand the systems and how the economy works. Not someone, not someone who is still living, you know, in the past.
Hold on.
Nigeria has to move
forward.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Okay,
hold on.
Yes.
You know, when you talk about age,
yes,
in governance, yes, we need the youth, the strength of the youth. That's why they say they are the leaders of tomorrow.
Exactly.
But if you look at it, in other climes, age has nothing to do with leadership.
What did you just say? You said in other climes,
where we even copied this democracy from. You can see that age,
because there are institutions there where people respect those institutions. Okay. But you know, Nigeria's situation is very, very peculiar, and that's why when we want to select, we must consider your qualification. We must know who is coming. What is he bringing? We must also begin to check. After we have seen that you are qualified in terms of education, you are qualified in terms of age, we are qualified in terms of health. I don't know how we'll be able to achieve that, but we should find a way around to achieve that. We now begin to look at your manifestos.
We'll come back. Let's go to the person in the Zoom who is still there. Mr. Joseph, thank you for remaining with us.
Thank you.
Okay, I know because you're a young. I know because you're a young man too. You will also be one of those saying that age or no age. But if you listen, if you listen to the elderly, you will know that there's so much wisdom in what they say. And are you one of those saying that age will determine election this year, electioneering this year, as well as the 2023 elections?
Yes. Thank you, Jama. I want to thank the young man that is in the studio with you. Is a young man like me, so I'm happy that young people are getting involved in the politics of our country. Whether we like it or not, age has a lot to do in this election. I will give you an example of Ukraine Zelensky, 44-year-old president, and what he's doing in this country. Let me leave Zelensky. Let me go to Emmanuel Macron, the French president, what he's doing in his country. If you look at countries that are prospering in the world, age has a lot to do with their leadership. Whether we like it or not, you're not going to compare our fathers who are already analog to operate in a digital age. We're now in a digital age, and all they have done in the last 61 years is use the analog system, which has not worked. So we're not going to, and my problem is that, you know, when I listen to the APC people that you brought on board on the first segment of the show, they were creating a Nigeria that don't exist, because that Nigeria they were creating does not exist. The APC as a party and our fathers have brought us to where we are today. Our country is a country where nothing is working, and we have everything. So if we must move this country forward, of course, age has to play a role. I'm a young man in my 40s, and definitely you cannot expect that what I will bring to the table, a man of 60, 70 will bring to the table. I understand that we have some youth that are also sick, but definitely is that mentally, physically, in every aspect of running a country, you need a young man. You need a young mind. A young man can do a lot than those who are in their
Joseph.
60 or 70.
Joseph.
Imagine Buhari when he was it was the head of state.
Joseph.
What it is now as a democratic elected president. So it shows that age has a lot to do with us as a human being. So there's no way you can rule age out of this election.
Joseph, let me ask you a question.
Because we know that our country has everything and it's fixable, and it is not going to be fixed by our father. We are the ones that are going to fix it. When I was young, they said we're going to be leaders of tomorrow.
Yeah, let me ask you a question now. Joseph. Okay, Joseph, I need to ask you a question before you tell me thank you. The question is, do you know that we have diverse ethnic groups in Nigeria? Are you aware of that? Are you aware that we have people with different culture and beliefs? Are you aware that we also have different religion and all that? Are you also aware that Nigeria is one of the countries in Africa that people see as a complex society? So a young man who has no experience of where this country started from, how would the young man solve problems? You know that solving problems, you need to go back to where it all started. So if we are taking a step towards moving forward, do we forget our yesterday? Don't you think we need to go and find out where this problem started from? And in finding that where the problem, if it started before you were born, how are you expected to solve it as the leader of this country?
Thank you, Chama, for that question. There is nobody in our country who does not know the problem in our nation.
By history,
even
that you read it in the books.
We have read books and books. We are living Nigeria. We are living Nigeria. So if we are living Nigeria, if we are doing Nigeria, there is no problem in this country. Even a little child in Nigeria knows the problem. So to solve this problem, of course, it's not going to be a one-man issue. It's going to be a combination of everybody in this country. So if you have a good leader on top who is sincere, a good leader who is vibrant, a good leader who has international exposure, then he can bring in the best of Nigeria. We have the best of people in this country. But the problem is that we are putting wrong people in government, and that is why our country is not moving forward. If you bring the right people in government, if we bring the right people together, we can solve our problem. Our problem is fixable, and I want you to know that. So that problem of our country that has started before existence, we all know it. We're already in the book. We live by it.
Okay.
They tell us every day. We even know it. So the problem is that now the question is, how do we fix it? Fixing it starts from
that's why we come to Mr. Emmanuel. You know, sorry, Mr. Emmanuel, you know that the challenge of this country didn't start today. Yeah. It didn't start with President Muhammadu Buhari. It didn't start with President Jonathan. It didn't start with the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo. It didn't start today.
Sure.
It may even have started before I was born. And I asked him the question, moving forward, how do we solve it? Because the solution is what people will look out for in 2023.
It's very simple to solve problems, EG. Very, very simple. If you begin to learn how to put square pegs in square holes,
that is it.
then that's the first step of solving your problems. But you do not carry someone who is perhaps, I'm not saying working in the farm is a bad thing, but you know, we have divided ourselves in life into sectors. This is how nature has structured it. There are some people who are cut out to be policymakers, and they are making policies. There are those who are also cut out to implement policies. They are implementing policies. There are those who are cut out to work in the industries. They are working in the industries.
So we should look out for those people.
Wherever you are, whatever you feel, or wherever you feel you need to operate, you should operate there. But it is an aberration for you to see someone who is supposed to be a banker, who probably read banking and finance in school,
and you put him in medical.
He ends up in the hospital working as a doctor. This is what we have in Nigeria today, and this is exactly what we are saying, that if we want to shape discussions for 2023, we are going to go sectorally. We will take it sector by sector. After we have considered your age, after we have considered your qualification, after we consider who are you, because we must actually know you. You cannot just
from the family background?
Not from the, I mean, we are Nigerians, we live here, we know ourselves. We know the antecedents, we know what this man has done before. A lot of people who are parading themselves today, who want to hold one political office or the other, have been in the system. What were you doing that time? What did you do then that was good? Or do you think you want to correct now? Or what did you do that you felt you didn't do well? Why didn't you do it well? We must ask questions. Not that you just wake up one morning. It is easy to print posters, CJ, to say you want to be a president. It is easy to go and purchase form to say you want to be a senator. But the fact remains, if we check your antecedents, where are you coming from? Right. What have you done before? The moment we begin to get these things right, then we can move away from there and go to sector by sector. That's exactly what that my friend in Lagos was trying to talk about. When we want to follow sectorially, we now begin to ask. Look at the economy of Nigeria. Once we take the economy, we move from there. Look at the educational sector. We move away from there, we go to agriculture. We move from agriculture, we go to mineral resources, where he was talking about fuel. We know Nigerians are suffering, and we must not and cannot continue like this. For us to change, we must begin to ask fundamental questions. Nigerians, I can tell you, are wiser than they were in 2015. Nigerians are wiser than they were in 2019. So I know that going forward to 2023, what is going to shape elections in 2023 will no longer be propaganda of somebody coming to tell us he's going to build castles in the air. It will no longer be propaganda of somebody coming to tell us that 16 years of some people did this and did that. It is 16 years that caused the war in Ukraine. We are not interested in listening to these things.
Mr. Emmanuel,
we want you to tell us sector by sector.
Thank you so much.
Workable plans with timelines.
We have more time. We have time to talk more.
Sure.
So you can also analyze some of the issues that will shape electioneering in Nigeria moving into 2023. This is how we say thank you for being a part of this program.
Thank you so much for your patience to watch from the beginning to the end. I hope you have learned something from the video you have just watched. The video you have just watched is to bring information to your doorstep and for educational purpose. It is not to demonize anybody. Let us watch continuously and see who can be able to make a sense out of every nonsense we are seeing. We must continue. We move. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. They will kill us. We will kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra is here. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you and remain blessed. Bye-bye. See you again.